Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time visiting me. Today we are going to be taking an up close and personal look at a deck I am super excited about. This is a prototype of the Lil Cryptid Oracle, and at the time you're watching this, the Kickstarter campaign for this deck will have just launched. Let's get into it. So Lil Cryptid is actually a deck that was created by Andrew Rogers and Christopher Penzel, and I first became aware of this deck through Instagram, and I started following its creation. I thought it was absolutely delightful and was actually personally incredibly delighted when Chris and Andrew reached out and asked if I wanted to share a prototype with you guys. I was like, yes, please. And y'all, they know me, they know my shtick, because they sent me a preview of the unicorn card in their email, checking in with me to see if I was interested. I'm like, heck yes, I'm interested. So I'm really excited to be getting into this, but there are some caveats because this, of course, is a prototype. So this is a deck in a tin. I believe the final version will be in a tin, but this is not the final version of that tin. And the cardstock won't be exactly the same. There may be changes to the artwork. You guys probably know the drill, but typically this is pretty close to what we're going to see in the Kickstarter campaign. But I always encourage you to click through to the Kickstarter, read all the details there, get really familiar with the campaign and what the creators have to say. But with that said, I am so stoked to be diving into this with you all. Now, Chris and Andrew also sent along to me a copy of, I guess, a actual sample card from, like, with the quality of what the actual final deck is going to be from a cardstock perspective, which I really appreciated that they did that. So I've got this here off to the side. Oh, wow, it really blends in with my background. Could have chose that better. Oh well, I really like this background, and also it glows in the dark. It's all like dandelion wishes, and it's a mood. So apologies if the background could be more contrasty, but we're just gonna roll with it because it makes me happy, and well, you know, I'm just here to have a good time. Okay, so we'll do a bit of a cardstock comparison with this single card they sent me that is the same cardstock the final deck will be, as well as the cardstock of what's in here, so you guys can kind of tell like the difference, or I can describe the difference. But can we just really get into this? I really want to get into this. So if you haven't been following this on Instagram, like, I will link their Instagram account down below so you can check it out and preview a bunch of the cards. Again, I don't know how much. I haven't seen the Kickstarter campaign preview page or anything, so I don't know what all information is going to be on the campaign page. But y'all, I'm really excited about this. The tin is so cute. Look at it. Like, I know it's not the final version of the tin, but I'm stoked for an Oracle deck in a tin. I just think it's the cutest thing, and it has a really satisfying, like, click. Am I the only one that finds that kind of thing just like the best? Like, it's not just like a slide on, like a pressure fit. It's actually got a click. It's the satisfyingest thing. Making up words now. Now there will be a is this upside down? This is upside down. There will be a QR code that'll take you to a field guide that you can use when you get the deck. I believe it's going to be a digital guidebook, like that's the ultimate goal. There is some sample pages of that guide on the website, which I will try to remember to also have linked down below. But that field guide is not complete yet, so I don't have that. I just have sample. So we're just going to be going off the cards, the keywords, the artwork, that sort of thing today. And this is so exciting. This is just, yeah, I'm just excited. So this cardstock that's actually in the prototype deck is nice. It feels sturdy, and it's a little bit shiny. The one that they sent me, so let's see if I can catch the light so you can see the difference. So this one feels, I don't think it's rose petally. Like, I don't think it's that, ignore this artwork because this artwork did not make it into the deck. But as far as the actual cardstock, this one has a little bit of shine. So the final version will be a true matte. It might be ever so slightly rose petally. It's hard to tell because it's really humid here today, so I don't know if that's just the humidity, but it feels really buttery and smooth. So if this is the final cardstock, you're going to be really happy with it. Thickness-wise, these feel basically the same. So that's awesome. I'm really happy with that. This is so cute. Oh, you guys, we're going to have some fun trying to pronounce stuff today. Aspidochel universe is the keyword for this one. Look how cute that is. That got cut? Oh no, I'm so sad. Okay, they said I could show it, but they did say this one got cut, so they might have a different version of it. But I'm going to get us zoomed in so we can see the cards really well, because especially on this background, I want to make sure that nothing is distracting us from the cards. So let's bring it in nice and close. Does it say on the tin how many cards? 38. There are 38. Now, cryptids, as I understand it, so Peggy had a cryptid oracle before that she ended up decluttering. And part of the problem with that cryptid oracle was that the cryptids were really cute in that one too. Very different art style. But that one, there was no keywords on the card. And I am really big on needing keywords, really wanting to have a keyword on each oracle card. That's just a personal preference of mine. So I'm stoked that this has the name of the cryptid and a single keyword for every single card, which is very exciting. And the field guide, once it's ready to go, will also have information about each cryptid so you can learn about them as you go, which is very exciting. So again, I'm probably going to slaughter the pronunciations of like all of these, so brace yourselves. And if anybody feels like sharing any tidbits they know about any of these cryptids, I would love to hear. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Cryptids are basically like creatures, like, so they could be things from mythology or from lore or from stories. So you might see anything here from, I don't know, werewolves or vampires to Loch Ness Monster. I don't know what cryptids they've included. I can't remember. And I just remembered that there are some keyword cards. So we have this, and it's in a different font too. Wait, are these in alphabetical order? No. Okay, so these, I'm going to actually pause this and put these in alphabetical order so that we can follow along with the keyword guide things. Okay, be right back. Okay, we are now in order, and I can also refer to these little keyword cards for some extra words, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked. So again, this is going to be a serious adventure in pronunciation, so please humor me. But this first one, Akorakamui, and he looks very octopusy, but he's got like a little lamp, super cute. His name is, or his keyword is meditation, but it also says here focus, reflection, and inner guidance. This has got some serious hermit energy. But look how freaking adorable it is. These things are heckin' cute. Oh my gosh. I can't. And I've got like the creators' personalities in my mind because they've interacted with me on social media before. So like they'll comment on my videos and like I'll see them in Instagram. And so I've got like, not their voices because I've never spoken to them in person, but like their tone when they comment on stuff like in my head. And I noticed that because I just said heckin' cute and that's not even normally in my vocabulary. So I've obviously picked that up. So funny the way that I kind of tap into the energy of things. Anyways, here we have Big Bird, which I literally didn't know Big Bird was a thing. I'm so curious. Please do. Again, if you know anything about any of these cryptids, I would love it if you would share below. I can't wait to get my hands on the field guide. That's going to be really exciting. But this is Big Bird, and the keyword here is balance. And it says distribution, steady, and symmetry, which is so interesting. Not the Big Bird of Sesame Street for sure. But it looks like it's sitting kind of on or in this like ring. Do you see that ring there? That's really interesting. Bigfoot I'm familiar with. So Bigfoot is mystery. And this makes so much sense for me for Bigfoot. I love the charm and the sweetness of these characters, but also like the fact that I adore the font. I will say that the font is a little tricky to wrap your brain around at first. It can be a little tricky to read. So, but the keyword card that comes with it is in a cleaner font, so it's a little easier to see. But I do feel like the font aesthetically fits the deck, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure I'd want it to change. You know, does that make any sense? Anyway, this is Brosno Dragon, and it's Warrior, and it's so cute. It looks like a sea dragon, almost like he's guarding like a little pearl. Oh my gosh, I want to learn about them all. This one is Chick Charney, and the keyword is fate, and it also has here karma, judgment, and destiny. Oh, it's got a little mouse. This looks like legit like an owl, but with arms, in addition to wings, and a tail. Very owly, though. And I want to know, I hope the guidebook gets into like where each one is from. In fact, let me just check the little sample of the field guide and see what kind of entries we get. In fact, the guidebook might be really good to, let's see. Let's just see. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I didn't know this. I hadn't looked ahead of time. So I just pulled up. Let's see if I can bring it up. Can I bring it up any bigger? So I just brought it up, and it actually is the guidebook entry for this particular creature, the one that we just had, the owl one. So let's read what it has in the guidebook for this guy. I think it'll be helpful. So it says, did I just lose it? No, come back. Hold on. So it says, the Chick Charney reminds you that your fate is connected to what you create. The choices and actions you make shape your future, though they do not determine it completely, as others are making choices and actions of their own, and we all occupy the same universe. So while the Chick Charney encourages you to shape your fate, it also reminds us to accept it, step into your power while also embracing your limitations. This is not an invitation to be passive. In fact, it is the opposite. Choosing to accept your fate is active and constant. Consider how this concept applies to relationships. Just as you shape your fate, so do others shape theirs. So remind yourself what is most important to you, what is important to the other person, how much will you both work to bring about a shared fate with which you can be satisfied. So here is the journal entry. So I think this is the more, I I guess, descriptive part about the cryptid. It also says over here, so next to the image, it has a little bit here, and that bit says, the talon of fate feathers between good and bad. Oh, interesting. So here's what the journal entry says. I had traveled to the Bahamas some time ago to specifically search for the chick charney. I admit that my superstitions may have gotten the best of me at the time, for I had had a string of bad luck in searching for cryptids, coming up empty time and time again. So I figured I would search for one that was supposed to determine one's fate. My source directed me to Andros Island, the largest in the Bahamas. Okay, this is what I was hoping for, that it was going to tell us kind of where we can learn more about that cryptid, like where they're from. So that's great. I love seeing that. As its mangroves were the most likely place to find the chick charney. I usually find cryptids after sunset or at night, but the chick charney is most active in the early morning, just before and at sunrise. When I found it, it stood on the shore with a mouse trapped in its large talons. So we're seeing an image of what this like journal entry is kind of painting a picture of for us. Didn't eat the mouse right away, though. Instead, it seemed to contemplate it. Astoundingly, the chick charney placed the mouse on the ground as if curious as to what it would do. The mouse turned one way, looked another, and then returned to the chick charney as if it was giving itself up willingly. Maybe by doing so, the mouse was protecting its young? I realized that I was putting so much hope into the chick charney to change my life that I had given up on making changes myself. I left the gifts I had planned to give to the creature, some flowers and a swatch of silk cloth, and headed out on my way. In the years that followed, my fortunes did seem to turn around, but was it because I worked differently, or because the chick charney had liked my gifts and chose to help me? All I know is, had I not made that journey, I would not have found the courage to change. That's really, really cool and really beautiful. Digging that. Okay, so there is like these little entries that feel almost like an explorer has found this cryptid and has written about their experience. So that's really cool, and I'm assuming that's how the entire field guide will go, so loving that. Chimera partnership. This is the cutest darn chimera I've ever seen. And I think it might be actually chimera. I mean, it might be pronounced chimera. And it says here cooperation, alliance, and union. And I believe a chimera here is this three-headed dog. So that partnership idea, the cooperation, makes sense because, of course, each head is going to have a different idea about what to do. And there's a snake on its tail. Am I interpreting what I'm seeing correctly? I think so. I feel like I've encountered chimeras in video games. So there's that. Here we have a chupacabra. Chupacabra, is that how you say that? So, fulfillment, satisfaction, accomplishment, achieved. This looks a little bit like the bad guys in the Lion King, you know, but they were not chupacabras. They were hyenas. But don't they have that vibe? Totally have that vibe. Dark Watcher, observe. I cannot wait to learn about this. So this says perceive, perspective, and neutrality. It almost looks like a shadow being that just kind of like quietly watches. Ooh. I think I've seen these in video games too. This is a death worm. They look creepy as heck. Patience. This is not cute. The other ones have been cute so far, right? Like he's kind of cute. This one's not cute. How do you make a death worm cute, though? I'd love to hear. So this one says patience, and it says waiting, restraint, and tolerant. I'm assuming these things like lurk beneath the earth and then come up. I don't know what their story is. Flatwoods monster. Creation is the main keyword, and then we have forge, energy, and design. This one's really trippy. They look like the spade of a playing card suit symbol. I am like so stoked. This is the first image I think I saw. Maybe this is the image they're using as their user picture on Instagram and on YouTube. I'm not sure. Fresno Night Crawler. And the keyword is security. Look at that tiny little crown on its head. These are so cute. This would be such a fun deck to pair with any kind of more fantastical or mythological deck. Like I feel like this would be really fun next to the 78 Tarot Mythical. I feel like it would go really well. Like just bring a little bit of fun. This one is Geff, and Geff, or Jeff, I'm not sure how you say that, communication. He looks kind of weaselly, doesn't he? And it says speaking, openness, and expression. Here we have Goatman, and Goatman's keyword is death. So we have ending, letting go, and trauma being the keywords here. I'm liking that we're getting keywords that are not just in the like fluffy positive realm, which is nice. Here we have the Hopkinsville Goblin, and his keyword is explore. And it says here, seeking new scenery and investigate. Oh my gosh, look at the jackalope. Okay, jackalopes are normally not this cute when I see them like artistically depicted. So this one's keyword is movement. Jersey Devil, change, growth, evolution, and transition. Now, is the Jersey Devil and the Tasmanian Devil, are they like connect? No, they're not, right? Like they're totally different. I'm sure they're totally different. I don't think I've ever seen an image of the Jersey Devil, but I love the keyword change. Kikimora looks a little bit like a gremlin. Yeah? A little bit like a gremlin. This one is boundaries, which is such a fantastic keyword. Limits, rules, and tension. You guys, I want to learn about all these so bad. You just don't know. La Llorona is caution. I feel like I've heard about her. Warning, consider, and advise. I feel like I've heard a little bit about her, but nothing's coming to mind off the top of my head right now. Loveland Frogman. Now, I'm wondering, that these ones that have, like, they kind of sound like they're from a town. I'm assuming that's the town it's, like, associated with. And I feel like, isn't Loveland in Texas? And, like, La Llorona, I don't know about that one, but there was another one in here that had a name. The Hopkinsville. Is the Jersey Devil from New Jersey? I'm so curious now. There was, yeah, Hopkinsville Goblin. So I'm wondering, like, where's Hopkinsville? And, like, I'm so curious. So Loveland Frogman is magic, and the keywords are power, evoke, and intention. Momo is so cute. I can't. And the keyword is confrontation, conflict, hostility, and mistreat. I want to know their stories. Mothman is fear, terror, anxiety, and threat. And again, I'm seeing the balance in the keywords. Oh, good. Loch Ness Monster's in here. Look at this adorable Loch Ness. Oh my gosh. And it just says Nessie. And then longevity. Look at the little heart. Oh my gosh, I love her. She's so cute. Then we have new, upheaval, disruption, chaos, and confusion. Oh, I didn't tell you the rest of Nessie's keywords. They are past lives, vast, and phase. And for new, they're disruption, chaos, and confusion, along with upheaval. This has a lot of towery kind of energy. It has a tail kind of like the Chimera, which is super interesting. Look at the adorable Phoenix. It's so cute. He's so cute. Rebirth makes perfect sense for Phoenix. And we have revival, fresh start, and cleansing. Then we have reptilian, integration, incorporation, adapt, and disguise. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Sandown Sam, look at him. Innocence. Look at him though. Childhood, nostalgia, and ignorance. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So fool energy. There's definitely some, I could see this vibing with tarot very well. Shuck is manifestation, and materialize, tangible, and invoke. Oh, please tell me, you guys. If you guys know anything about any of these, I want to hear anything and everything you want to share. Skunk ape, freedom. Choice, independence, and instinct. Spectre moose. Oh, he's pretty. Solitude. He feels very wintry. Oh, Squonk looks so sad, and his keyword is emotion. Squonk. Feelings, emotional stability, and void. He looks so sad. Oh my goodness. Thunderbird is vision. Enlightenment, inspiration, and clarity. Okay, I don't know if I can do this one. Delebi? Delebi? This one is devious. It looks like it's kind of taunting you in with fruit, but maybe it's a trap. There's like a skull down there at the base of the tree. That's really interesting. Unicorn! So this is what they did. They sent me a picture of this. When they asked if I wanted to review this deck, I was like, heck yes. But also before that, I had been following them on Instagram, and I think they had shared like the Phoenix card or something, and I was like, you are going to have a unicorn in here, right? Like there's going to be a unicorn, right? Right? And there's our unicorn. Luminosity is such a beautiful keyword for unicorn, and it says hope, positivity, and confidence. This card makes me really happy. I love that we're in front of the moon here, and we get this kind of like light shining in the darkness. Uh-oh, here's another one I'm not sure about. Voronezh Giant. Wisdom. Cute. I love him too. Look at his big mouth. His face reminds me of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Yarama Yahoo. And his keyword is rest. He does have that rest energy about him. Yeti is strength, and that is our last one. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so the cardstock, like I said, feels just as thick as the, and I love these little handy keyword cards. These are great. But the funny thing is, I feel like I don't necessarily need these. I don't feel like I necessarily need the extra keywords so much. What I really, really want to need is the guidebook, like the field guide, so that I can like read more about these delightful characters. So let's give it a shuffle because this does feel, so this is, like I said, it's glossier than what the cardstock's going to be, but it feels the same thickness. So we're going to shuffle it and see how it shuffles. And I know it won't be exactly the same, but it's a little bit stiff, which you kind of want for a smaller deck. Oh, let's show you a standard tarot size for comparison. So I have my Crystal Unicorn Tarot, so let's just pop that out so I can have a card to compare. So this... that is the size. Let's get the glare off. Let's turn it this way. Maybe you can see it a little better. So it's like, basically, it feels like poker size to me. It feels like playing card size, which is a great size. And I don't have a lot of oracles that size, which is exciting because I definitely have tarot that size. Ooh, you know what this would be fun to pair with, actually, that's the same size, is Juliet Peekaboo Rose's Notorious JBG. I know they're totally different, but I feel like they'd be so fun to pair together. So let's do an energy obstacle advice sample reading using this deck just to see how it reads without getting into all the mythology, but just working with the keywords and the artwork and just seeing kind of what comes up. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So an energy obstacle advice. This will be a message for the collective or for whoever needs it in this moment. That's the other thing. It doesn't feel insubstantial. Like, it's 38 cards, which is usually a little on the smaller end for me. I like them 45 and up, but it doesn't feel like not enough cards, if that makes any sense. And it felt pretty balanced looking through it. All right. Energy obstacle advice. So our energy is balance. Big Bird. Let's zoom us in for this little reading here. So we have Big Bird. Balance is our energy. So we need to look towards managing, finding that fine-tuning spot where we can get things done but not go too hard. We have Skunk Ape for freedom as the obstacle. This makes a lot of sense. He's almost kind of pointing at Big Bird and is like, hey, over here, you don't want to focus on that work. You want to go off and do whatever you want to do. I kind of feel like we're being kind of admonished or told to, like, hey, like, as much as you're craving just to go play, you've got work to do. You need to find the balance. So don't give up on play, but also don't give up on your work. Like, don't just run away. But I feel like the temptation for a lot of us is play. We're feeling kind of hemmed in and constrained by not the blockages, but by the responsibilities in our life. So let's see what our advice card is. Movement, Jackalope. So cute. Oh my goodness. So I feel like this is about shaking things up. So we might be really itching for freedom, itching for play, because we're trying to kind of get out of that constraining feeling of all the responsibility. So the answer to that is to take some movement breaks. Like, make sure that we're not just stagnating, but we're actually getting out and, like, shaking up our physical body in some way. Like, if that's like you're in a rut working on a writing project, maybe you need to get up and, like, go do your dishes. It might still be work. It might still be part of the work that you need to do, but it's more physical. It's more movement oriented. You can kind of shake up the energy. The same is true if you are, you know, you're what's a good example? The same thing is true if you're playing and you need to balance it back out with work. It's like, yeah, I've been, like, sitting on my butt playing a video game for the last couple hours. I really need to, like, move. So that's a good opportunity or a good way to key into what you need to do next. And movement might be a good clue as to what thing you're neglecting at the moment, like what thing needs to be balanced. We're being called towards more like freedom, right? So that's the temptation. That's a blockage. We're trying to move away from that, not feel so hemmed in, but movement could be calling us to the thing we're neglecting. So like I said, if you're kind of really hyper-focused on one area of work in your life or one thing that you're responsible for, movement is saying what requires movement that you're neglecting, and it can help you kind of find that point of balance and come back to equilibrium. That was fun. Okay, let's do another 3 and just see how it comes out. So let's do another energy obstacle advice just to see how it reads. Energy. Unicorn energy! I can no longer focus because a card came up, and I have a story to tell about the unicorn, which I'm really excited about. Anyways, okay, so energy is unicorn luminosity. Let's actually put that into context of a reading. So this is about hope. It's about shining a bright light into the dark. So if you've been feeling a little bit heavy, like a little bit weighed down lately, not necessarily just by responsibility like we saw in the past reading, although that could be a part of it, but if you're feeling really weighed down in general by life, if things have just felt really heavy, it's time to sort of shine a light into those dark corners and invite a positive spin on what's going on, which is not to say that we are ignoring the difficult stuff. We're not going to do that whole toxic, like, overlooking the negative, but we are going to acknowledge that that stuff can be there, and we can still shine a light of optimism into that shadowy place. We can still go, okay, how can I flip this script on this a little bit and focus on what I can control or focus on what I can improve? I think that's the energy of the moment, is that need and that kind of call towards finding the bright light in the darkness. Our obstacle to doing that, though, is Fresno Nightcrawler, who is asking us to pay attention to how security, or our desire for security, is keeping us from looking at that sort of more positive spin. How are we getting dragged down into the sort of depressive way of looking at the world or looking at life right now because we're so weighed down by needing to make sure things are secure? So this is going to really speak to those of you especially who may have been feeling some financial hardship lately, or you've been feeling like you're on shaky ground. That desire for security is kind of putting you, or that maybe hyper focus on security is putting you into space where it's hard for you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So this is creating an obstacle for you. So you want to think about how clinging so tightly to security, think Four of Pentacles, right? How are you gripping so hard to security that you're not letting any light in, right? So this is kind of getting in the way of the light for you. And then the advice is new, which is upheaval. This really speaks to, these two kind of are working in harmony for me in this moment, because the clinging to security as the obstacle and then upheaval as the advice, to me, tells me that we're gripping tightly to something we need to let go of. Sometimes what we're doing is we're gripping so hard to something because we want nothing to change. We don't want anything to fall apart. And because we don't want anything to fall apart, we're actually setting ourselves up to grip too tight and to create this sort of dark, murky place we have to hang out in. The new card, the upheaval card, tells me something needs to kind of fall apart a little, or you need to have a shakeup. So that security you're clinging too tightly to, that's creating an obstacle. What you need is to let things be a little messy for a bit. Maybe let things crumble a little bit and know that it's going to be okay either way. Ooh, 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 I'm liking how I'm feeling, how I'm vibing with this deck. It's pretty exciting. Okay, so we're going to do one more because I can't help myself. So one more energy obstacle advice, because why not? And I'm just taking out the cards we've already used so we can get some different ones. Okay. One more energy obstacle advice. So energy, again, for whoever needs it, we have the Spectre Moose, solitude. We're really feeling that need, or that energy of aloneness, and just maybe being overstimulated and really craving some of that private time or some reconnect or spiritual time. And really this is speaking to me of like wanting to find yourself again. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And then the obstacle card is rest. And perhaps we're avoiding doing the spiritual work that could help us to connect and to feel more spiritually grounded, because we're just in a heavy, kind of lazy space at the moment. We just don't want to do a lot, which is fair. But sometimes we can take solitude to a not healthy place if we use it as escapism and we avoid all the things we maybe need to focus on in the world. So just make sure you're not in that imbalanced place with it. And then advice is Thunderbird vision. To me, this is like a call to a shift in perspective, needing to look at things a new way. So think about the ways in which you're kind of avoiding doing maybe the spiritual work. You're craving it, but you're kind of avoidant of it at the same time. And then think about how shifting your perspective, or looking in a place, looking at a thing, or looking in a direction of yourself, within yourself, that you've been maybe avoiding, or that, you know, you're kind of feeling called to, but you're sort of like, nah, not yet, I'm not ready. Maybe it is time to look in that corner and see what you uncover. And maybe for some of you, these 3 sample readings will sort of string together and make a cohesive message. But I was just playing and it was fun. And if it doesn't speak to any of you, that's okay. I was just seeing how the cards might read in context in a moment. And I'm really enjoying the intuitive feel of these. I don't know why. Maybe because they are sort of mythical creatures, cryptids, they don't feel so far away. They feel like I can access their wisdom. It's really interesting, but it's speaking to my creative space. So let me get out, I just shuffled everything together, but let me grab that unicorn card, because I was sent a really sweet, amazing thing, and I have to share. So throughout the creation of this deck, the creators have shown works in progress. Let me just zoom us back in. They've shown works in progress, and sometimes asked, you know, which version of a card or an artwork that people really liked. This is the unicorn card that made it into the deck, but they very, 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 very kindly, I squealed, you guys, they very kindly sent me an original of the other unicorn card that was considered, or at least one of the other ones that was considered. I don't know if it was one that they showed or not, but this is one of the original paintings, and I was so delighted because look at the size, you guys. So that's just covering it, but this is the size of the original artwork. This is an original. I squealed. Look at all the flowers and the garden. This is so my vibe right here. I love it. I do think that this gives us a lot to work with as far as shining the light into the shadow, and I really appreciated that in the reading. But this is so beautiful, and I was over the moon when I saw that they'd included this. I literally, I squealed. Peggy can attest. I screamed. It was a whole moment. I'm so, so delighted to have that. I have to think of a way to house that. Like I need a sleeve or something to put it in so that I can like carry it with me in my planner or something. I need it. I need it with me at all times. And then they also sent me a card, which they had a lovely note in that they used the same artwork for. But to think that this artwork is created like in the same size as the finished card, I don't know why that just absolutely blows me away, but it does, because I feel like the artwork is pretty darn detailed. Like when we see this bigger version of it, you know, look at how much detail. Like I'm so impressed and also just so touched. And yeah, unicorn, me, unicorn, very excited and very grateful and very pleased and very touched and very just generally excited about this. I wanted to love that cute Cryptids deck that was out before that Peggy had and then decluttered. I really wanted to love that. But again, I need keywords, and this deck delivers on the keywords. Plus we're going to get an adorable field guide. If you enjoyed the vibe of the field guide to garden dragons, it sounds kind of similar, only a little bit more grown up feeling in this, if that makes any sense. So while I think it's perfectly suitable for, well, from what I've seen so far, some of these images might be a little titch scary for the young ones, but I feel like it could be really approachable for younger Oracle and Tarot card aspiring readers. I feel like it could be still pretty good in that context. But maybe have a look at the field guide first, you know, see what you think. But I am really excited. So I will have, as I mentioned, a link to the Kickstarter campaign in the description box down below so that you can check it out. I have no idea how they're doing for funding. I believe at the time this video is coming out, the Kickstarter will have been out for a day or so, 1 or 2 days, if I remember my timing. I'm really excited for both Andrew and Christopher, and I hope that their project funds. They've worked on it for a long time. I think they put a lot of thought and heart into it, and I just think there's so much good vibes in this, but I love that it's also very balanced. It feels like it doesn't shy away from the difficult messages, which is something I genuinely appreciate about Oracle decks. Oh, I didn't do my fan trick. Hold on. You guys, apparently I'm out of practice. Hold on. Let me pop the extra cards down in the bottom. This one's going to fan beautifully because, of course, it's a little slippier. But this one feels, I don't know if this is going to tell us anything. It might be a little bit more grippy, but not much. It still feels pretty smooth. Okay. Anyways, I know we can't judge the cardstock, but I do love me a good fan for the thumbnail. So that, my friends, is the little Cryptid Oracle. Thanks for coming along with me on the journey. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And please, please share your little cryptid tidbits down below if you're so inclined. I would love to read those in the comments. Thank you again so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to Andrew and Christopher for letting me get a peek at this and share it with all of you. As always, an extra special thank you goes out to my Unicorn Fam channel members. You guys really support what I do. It makes such a difference, and I really genuinely appreciate you. To everybody who is watching the channel, you guys know I am so thrilled and grateful that you are here watching this channel and engaging with this content. Whether you like, comment, subscribe, hang out and watch, lurk in the background, whatever it is you do to just hang out with me, I appreciate it so much. Thank you all so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out.